You're listening to the Thaiger on 102.75, and there's a story that has not just gripped a nation, there's a story that has gripped the world, and it, of course, is the story of the football team in Thailand, up in Chiang Rai, and their coach, who have been stuck in a cave up in Chiang Mai. There's been international news coverage, teams, everyone trying to help, and we have got someone to talk to who's actually been involved with the rescue, a local person on the island, an absolute hero, and many of them as well. So it's time to say hi to Ben Reymenants. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing well. I just woke up. Thank you for having me.
I'm sorry to wake you. I'm sure you're really busy as well. I'm sure everyone's wanting to talk to you.
Yes, that's an understatement.
Now, you are, of course, at Blue Label Diving in Rawai. You've got your business there. But how did you get involved with the rescue mission, Ben? Can I ask you?
That's a good question, actually. Well, we run, as you say, a diving business here, but we specialize in cave exploration and expeditions. We explored a few of the deepest caves inside of Thailand, and I guess that's sort of how they got to me. Just before us, a British team of cave divers arrived on their own account, and so we were taking turns laying lines to where the kids were, because the Thai Navy did a great effort in manpower and equipment, but they're not really cave trained.
Right.
So that's sort of where we came in to pave the path for them to the boys.
And you volunteered. I mean, you just basically jumped on the plane and you went to help, didn't you?
Yes. I mean, and Asia and many companies really sponsored
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. But yes, it's a voluntary work. I don't think it should be paid to start off with.
I understand that. And so what were the main hurdles that you and the other rescuers had to work out to get into the caves and that?
Well, when we arrived and it had just freshly rained, so the outflow was, compared to the Colorado River, white water rafting, so it was extremely hard to actually get to Camp 3, as they call it, which is a kilometer inside a cave, a combination of pulling yourself through white water and climbing over with all the gear, and then the actual diving starts. Now, the visibility was so bad, you could not read the instruments.
Yeah.
Fighting against the current and finding your way around a cave system, which is one of the longest in Thailand. It's about 9 kilometers long.
Wow.
So that was, I didn't have much hopes, and also with the British teams, they're like, this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
But then the rain stopped, and the water dropped a bit. They put big pumps in place. The water level dropped a bit, and the visibility cleared up. So on the first, we tried again. The water was clearer. And we actually managed to progress with laying thick line 200 meters at a time.
Wow.
And then there was hope again. So again, we were diving around the clock, taking turns with the British teams to push further and further to reach this T-junction that would lead us to this Pattaya beach room, as it's called. And yes, in the end, we succeeded.
Is that where they thought they would be, the kids?
Well, funny you should say that. That's where the Thai Navy told us they would be, but they were actually 200 meters further. I guess they wanted to keep us away from the kids because obviously we are not Thai. We speak a bit of Thai, but they wanted to be the first contact to be a Thai medic for several reasons. They didn't know in what shape and mental conditions the kid would be, so, and I have to agree with them.
Yeah.
But then, pure coincidence that the British cave divers pushed a bit further and actually found the kids.
It's unbelievable what you guys have been doing. You're absolute heroes, really are. How did the Thai and international rescuers cooperate together with the language and cultural barriers? How did everyone get on? Locals good to you as well?
The locals were absolutely amazing. I mean, the charity, I've never seen anything like it. I was also helping with the tsunami and similar. Local villages and people would just show up and handing me food and washing my dirty clothes. It's offering free accommodation. Yeah, nothing was too much. The British were give it a bit more distance at times, and were sometimes hard to get the information from them. They were also on their own account. I think they had a private sponsor. So, but there were two other British that actually live in Thailand,
Yeah.
and they are dry cavers, and they had done that cave in dry conditions several times, and they actually gave really good hints on where we could find the T intersection that would connect us to the to the passage where
Yeah.
to Pattaya beach. So in the end, it all turned out
It-
for the better. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone pulls together in an emergency, and it must have been quite terrifying as well for you guys going in there, not knowing what you're going to see. It could have been a total different outcome, and I know there's still a lot of work left to try and get them out of the cave. Can you tell me a little bit about that? How, we thought they might just come out, but obviously they can't, right?
Yes. So apart from being a pretty extreme cave dive, which is in the end, almost 2.5 kilometers inside a system with small restrictions. Now the biggest challenge is yet to come. How to get the kids out.
Yeah.
The pumps are doing a good job. The water level was dropping significantly.
Yeah.
But now rain in the area made the water level go up a little bit again yesterday. And they're expecting heavy rains again, which would mean that the cave system would flood entirely past Camp 3 again, which would make rescue virtually impossible.
Right.
So, yes, 2 Thai doctors from the Royal Thai Navy actually volunteered to be locked up inside that room with kids with enough food and medication to hibernate for 3 to 4 months until the water drops down again.
Wow. So
Which is pretty bit of sacrifice that are unheard of.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable situation, isn't it? What was the scene like when it was announced that you guys had found the boys and the coach?
It was like a rave party. It was unbelievable. People were crying and laughing and shaking.
Lovely.
The admiral comes to me and gives me a hug, which normally quite stiff governmental officials. And they strapped little lucky bracelets to me, and people were crying. I could hear the families crying and screaming that were kept in a separate room away from the press, next to a small temple they had set up. The monks were praying. It was joy all over.
Well, you deserve everything. You guys have done an amazing job. What do you do? Tell us what you do when you're in Phuket then, when you're not up rescuing people.
Well, diving is actually a hobby, and it's an expensive hobby. So I decided to, we're in a diving business, Blue Label Diving, and it's basically to teach people to safely cave dive. And we do a lot of explorations in Krabi. And in the south, there's very deep cave systems, very large cave systems, where we try and push every year a bit further, explore and do some research. And I also run a commercial diving company in Singapore. So currently we have a project in Pakistan with a large Chinese company. We're working on the largest hydropower dam on the planet to get that sorted. So we're busy.
Yeah, so it's Blue Label Diving, and you're based down in Rawai. And
that's correct.
Brilliant. And so if anyone is looking for going out diving, I tell you what, you couldn't get any more professional than Ben right now. I think you've proved that.
Yeah, we also do normal diving. We also
do you?
Normal recreational diving. You also love to see fish in blue water, so we're not just always stuck in deep, muddy, dark caves.
Oh, Ben. So, Blue Label Diving in Rawai. Ben, finally, I know that you are so busy. What would be your role now in the recovery mission? Are you going to be more involved? What will happen now? How will this unfold over the next? Do you think it's going to take 2 months, really?
It's unsure. All depends on the condition of the kids and how the weather cooperates. So, I mean, rainy season has been quite unreliable in the last years. It's on and off.
Yeah.
So they need really less than a week of dry weather. These pumps, it's unbelievable. The power that the output is unbelievable. And if the water drops enough, then they could literally float the kids out in a life jacket because they can't swim. They can't dive. That would be the most sensible option. But right now they can't be taken out because they are too weak to come out. Maybe you've seen the pictures. They're really, really skinny.
Yeah.
But their mental spirits are quite good, surprisingly.
Yeah.
We thought they would be totally in shock No, and they're all alive, which is even more amazing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? I'm not a prayer, but I got to
10
tell you
days,
right
yeah.
now that I think what you guys have done, that your team, the volunteers, the Thai Navy SEALs, as I say, this is a story that really has connected the world, and
Yes.
and there's nothing better when humans all come together and help, and it makes. It makes the human race, puts faith back into the human race. I would say.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I've never had so many goosebumps when I saw the cheering and the helping, and also all the military teams. The amount of stuff that's brought in, you have no idea. You have not
Yeah.
seen half of it because the press is kept well away from where the real action is.
Yeah.
Inside the cave, it looks like an ant nest. They brought in 500 diving cylinders with a sort of a pulley system that a Chinese engineer designed, because before we had to haul everything like Sherpas,
Wow.
1 kilometer over rocky, muddy slopes, and yes, and the Thai Navy SEALs, they literally sleep in that cave on this mud pile, 24/7. The diving also goes on 24/7. I didn't know what time of day it was, because the cave it's always dark. So you come out, it's 1 a.m. You go back in at 6 a.m. and you come out at 7 p.m. and yes, so
Yeah.
it's
Well, I
it's
tell you
pretty
what.
extreme.
Yeah, and what did they? I mean, this might sound a silly question. Would there have been fish in the water for the kids to eat? And was that there would be no food for them down there whatsoever?
That's correct. They actually left their backpacks behind, because there was a little sump that had their way through, so they left their shoes and their backpacks behind.
Right.
Which was in a way, lucky and unlucky, because lucky because they found those backpacks. They knew, hey, there's kids inside here.
Yeah.
But that actually meant they had nothing to eat, no solid food for 10 days, and no light for 10 days. Just the water dripping off the stalactites to drink. And it wasn't cold, so it's a comfortable 26 degrees inside the cave, and that made them survive. Else, no chance.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a story that's just going to keep giving. Hopefully, everyone can get out and get the children out safe as well, and the coach. And Ben, thank you so much for talking to us here on the Thaiger. It's lovely to know that you locally went up to help. Thank you so much for talking to us, Ben. I know you're obviously getting lots of requests, and you deserve a hero's welcome, and your whole team and everyone that was volunteering up there, the Thai Navy SEALs, you've all done a remarkable job, and I take my hat off to you. That's not enough, but I really do, Ben. I think what you've done is absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you. But like I said, it was a team effort, and everybody helped as much as anybody else. And thank you for having me.
Hey, Ben, it's brilliant to talk to you. Welcome home. I'm sure you'll spend some time with your family, and then you're back to work. And don't forget, Ben is at Blue Label Diving in Rawai, Label Diving in Rawai. And you certainly earned your stripes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ben,
have a lovely day.
Yeah, you too. You take care, and welcome home.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers, Ben. Thanks for talking to us.